Is this an okay position? Or...
My name is Brittany Novotny, and I was born in the wrong body. One day, when I was in 3rd grade, a boy I went to school with in Moore, Oklahoma, came to school using a new word he had come up with, transsexual. I was one of the targets of this new word, and I didn't know what he meant right away, but I could tell by the way he was using it that he didn't mean something positive. So I looked it up in one of our classroom dictionaries, and for the first time in my life, this flood of emotions came over me as I realized that there was a word to describe how I was feeling. But at the same time, I could tell by the way my classmate was using this word that this wasn't something looked kindly upon by quote-unquote normal people. I remember going to bed as a kid and praying at night for God to make me wake up as a little girl. I just knew there had been a big mistake, and I wanted so bad for there to be an easy way to fix it that didn't involve disappointing my mom and my family. If God could just make me wake up as a little girl, He could also make everyone in my family believe that I had always been a little girl. Despite my nightly prayers, every day I went to school and tried hard to fit in with the little boys, just like everyone expected me to. I didn't want to feel like I was in the wrong body, and it seemed like it would only open me up for scorn and derision if I told people how I really felt. I tried it all: wrestling, basketball, baseball, hockey, football. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy sports to this day, but I never really felt like I was part of the team as a kid or as a teenager. And I spent most of my time worrying about what these boys would think if they found out who I really was. And so I lived in fear. I kept to myself a lot. But I also started making friends as a teenager that I did let into my head. By my junior year of high school, I started breaking gender barriers with my appearance. I wore nail polish and eye makeup, and sometimes I would wear girl pants and blouses to school, and on other days I would wear very traditionally masculine clothing. And I got picked on for it, but I also started earning some new friends. People who admired that I was beginning to break out of my shell. Still, though, it would be several years before I would really gather the courage to announce to all my family and all my friends in the world that I am indeed a woman, a transgender woman, and that I would be transitioning from male to female. I graduated law school in 2005, and almost immediately I set out to complete my gender transition. By that time, I knew I couldn't serve my clients or my community if I was not really true to myself and who I am. Many of my friends and relatives thought I was crazy, and they were worried that I was dooming my legal and political careers before they had even really got a chance to get started. But they were wrong. And it got better. It's been almost 6 years now since I began my transitional journey. And though there were some rocky times at the beginning, my life has continued to get better and better and better as time goes on. Now I'm 30 years old. I have my own law practice in Oklahoma City, and I was Oklahoma's first openly transgender political candidate. And in 2010, my colleagues and the Young Democrats of Oklahoma honored me with the Woman of the Year award. Most days go by now without a thought about my gender. I have a wide, diverse circle of friends and colleagues. I date, and I basically live a really average life for a single young professional woman in Oklahoma City. I love my life, and I occasionally wonder what it would be like if I could go back and live those first 25 years of my life as the person I am today. But I also recognize that I have a great life now, and while I can't make the first 25 years better, I can make the rest of my life better. I know there are a lot of y'all out there who are struggling with your gender identity. I know that you have these thoughts sometimes, these thoughts that I had, thoughts that your family is going to be better off without you, or that there's no way anyone's going to ever accept you or love you or want to be with you, and just all the worst possibilities that you can think of. My only request to you is that you please, please don't let these thoughts take over. Don't let these thoughts take away your hope. There are so many more resources available today for transgender folks than ever before. It gets better. Navigate your family and your school life the best you can. I can't tell you the right way to tell everyone or the right time to transition, because every situation is different. But I can tell you, life doesn't end in junior high or high school. Kids grow up, life goes on, and you can make a future for yourself. It gets better. I want to leave you with this quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, a strong woman who faced down fear in her own time. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look at fear in the face. You're able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. It gets better. Thank you.